my last video where we make use of one of the function in this difflib module, which was get close matches. We're able to do something a little bit fun to check our target to see whether if it's inside of this element, but by making use of, by setting our cutoff, our accuracy to for a particular length, and then we're able to get our input, we're able to set the amount of input we want. This is where I put our target and depth of element. So in this video I'm going to make use of another function inside this of our difflib library, and what is that function? Is called ndiff. How does this function work? It compared to sequences line by line. We are going to see something like plus, we are going to see something like minus, we are going to see something like question mark in front of them, but I'm not going to explain what that does. When we do an example, we're going to basically see how it does, because explaining it is not going to do much. But when you see a minus in front, let me just give a quick overview. When you see a minus in front, it means that the element or the character is in the first sequence of data you want to search for. Let's say you have two variables, variable A and variable B, and the first one has something like easy keys on it, the second one easy keys 2. In the situation where we are trying to compare this, you can see that 2 is not in that of 1. In this situation, since they are, but let's just go and let's do example so we'll see what we're talking about. Let me comment this out. So we have to import it from this difflib. I want to import that ndiff. So how can we make use of this? The first thing we are going to do is to create a variable. Let's say I create var1, then the first one I gave it, let me say hello watchers. Okay, the second one is var2, I can say let me write hello easy kits. So I'm going to use this ndiff to compare both of them. So how can we do it? I can say print, so down to print this ndiff. It takes two, the same is A and our B. The first one is going to be val, so ndiff. Inside you are going to put our 1 and then comma up 2. These are basically the two important parameters that we need to see. So let's run this and see out. You can see down here I get something kind of a gentle object. So for me to get the actual out, I can put a list here in front of it to convert it to, for me to get my actual out, because here this is a generator object that we made use of, that will got printed out for us. Also I can use dot join. So let me use the first one. Let's say list, got it to list. Let me run it. You can see the output that we got here. So something like hello got printed out here. Next we saw kind of a minus sign in front of this W, A, plus E, plus Z, plus E. What does this actually signify? It signifies that in this hello we have here, this signifies since there's no any sign in front of it, that means it appears in that of variable 1 and that of this variable 2. You can see it appears on it, and you can see the next one you have here is minus W. This minus W signifies that this minus W is in variable 1 or is in our first matcher, but it does not appear in this of our second matcher. You can see something like minus A. You can see it appears here but doesn't appear here. But when we see plus E, what does this plus E signify? Like it's opposite of that of minus. When we say plus, just assume it's as opposite. This E signifies that it is variable 2 but does not exist in this variable 1. Okay, so let's make use of this. Let's make use of join for us to examine this more carefully. So let's say I put something like the word join. I want it to be printed out in a new line, or let me just move this guy here. Let me run this again. Okay, look at this. You can see this hello. It appears in both of them since there's no sign on it. And the second one is minus W, meaning that it appears in this variable 1 but doesn't appear in this variable 2. Once you see minus in front, it means it appear on the first search but doesn't appear on the second search or the second sequence, as we can see here. But when we come here, we see something like this T. You can see this T here, it doesn't have any sign in front of it because this T here appears here and it also appears here. But we look at this, you can see our x2 doesn't have anything. When we see minus, because this is really important, but when we start making use of this, we are not going to get, so we won't get confused or how this works. Once we see minus in front of our word or what we want to use and search, it means that it's in that of the first word, is in that of our searcher, the first searcher or the first variable that we created that holds the value, but it's not in the second one. If it's plus, that means it's in the second one but doesn't exist in the first one. Like you can see plus k here. This plus k, when we look at it, there's k here but there's no k here. Plus signifies that it's in the second one, which is this variable 2, and it's not in the first one. Hope it's not confusing. One of the use case of this, when it comes to when you want to, maybe you want to plagiarism, for example, can use this scenario, can use this thing to detect plagiarism. In a situation whereby somebody try to tweak what you wrote earlier to modify his own, you can make use of this ndiff to find out the one that was being tweaked. Because if you check here now, this hello that appears on both of them, and then you can come down and get which one or which of the words or word characters that appear on that of your own that also appears on that person. So let's make a real life example. Let's say I wrote something like artificial intelligence is the way forward. Okay, let's say artificial intelligence is the way forward. This is what I wrote on one of my articles, and one guy from nowhere just want to copy it, but instead of modifying it to a better something that makes sense, he decided just to shorten this artificial intelligence to what? AI. But so now artificial intelligence stands for AI. So let's run this and see what's going to happen. When we look at this, say that this intelligence is what was being altered, that is what was being changed. But when is the way forward, you can see when we look at it, it still signifies that the person didn't change much of the thing that we wrote, but it was just only this artificial intelligence that was that of AI. You can see plus I, you can see here plus I was here but was not here. So you can see this is one of the advantages of using this ndiff. There are a whole lot of other advantages, but you make use of this advantage where we write something a little bit bigger, because right now this is just trying to explain how it works, and there's nothing really much on it. So as we go on, we're still going to make use of this ndiff really well. So, I think we have come to the end of this video. I don't want this video to be too long. If you enjoy it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Also like the video. I'll be happy to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.